January the 8th, 2024 it is. Good morning and welcome to News Check. Thank you so much for making time. And today we are looking at road safety in the first hour, and then the second hour we'll be looking at the gains and some of the challenges facing devolution. Well, you bear me witness that statistics show that over 3,000 people die on our Kenyan roads each and every year, and the statistics are even worrying when it comes to festivities. We are looking at road accident being one of the major causes of death, actually top 10, leading in the country as a cause of death. And to put that worrying statistics into perspective, we'll be looking at some of the issues that are contributing to this and what are some of the things that we can do, even as Kenyans. And to help me drive this conversation, I'm armed with three gentlemen from different fields who will help us drive this conversation. And allow me to introduce them, beginning with my immediate left, where we have Engineer Joel Akomo Opere. Engineer Joel is the Deputy Director, Motor Vehicle Inspection at NTSA. Karibu sana, engineer.
Thank you so much.
Just next to him, we have Benson Mwenda, who is the Chairman, Matatu Transport Vehicle Association. Karibu sana, Bwana Mwenda.
Asante sana.
And just next to him, my very good friend, David Kiari, who is the Chairman, Road Safety Association. Bwana Kiari, it's been a while.
We have not discussed
yes.
a while, but...
And it's a good thing that even before we started this interview, we were actually talking about how perspective this interview is going to be, because we are looking at the worrying trend. I'm looking at the month of December alone. Where are we when it comes to accidents? 3,000 lives every year.
Even you are talking of 3,000.
Yes.
We left 3,000 long time ago. Even the last the NTSA gave us was 4,200 and something, while as the association we say that number is not the correct number. We have lost more than 6,900 Kenyans on
in the year
roads. 2024. If you go to WHO report, it's completely different with NTSA and the police. But we know why, because NTSA and the police get the report of the people who die direct on the road, but they don't get the report of people who die after that. So we have the number is more than what you are talking about, 3,000.
And maybe if I direct the same question to Engineer Joel, where are we in terms of statistics? On average, it's about 3,000 from the reports that we see. The association is claiming that it's almost double that. It's more than double that.
Thank you so much. You know, the association, as you said, that they use their parameters. But as I said, we work closely with the national police to get the figures and the facts, because when we have fatalities, we have to do even the inspection of even the vehicles and also get the numbers which are recorded as the ones who are passed away. But as you said, ideally, he's saying they go back and check after maybe even 2 months. So naturally there will be a discrepancy in their figures, but as it is, there's been a lot of concerted effort from the National Police and the National Transport and Safety Authority, and I'm sure when you go through, you travel across our roads, you find a lot of intensive campaign and operation to ensure that people obey the traffic rules to mitigate the road carnages. So our statistics, of course the final one will be given, but the figures are nearly the same as the ones which were in the previous year. I would not confidently say this is the number or this, because I know it will be released in a few, but it is not so much different from the other year.
Bwana Mwenda, I'm looking at the statistics, the previous one, and Matatu are taking up the biggest chunk of road accidents and deaths in Kenya. What are some of the primary concerns? They being addressed? We're talking about seat belts in vehicles. You're talking about speed governors. We are looking at roadworthy vehicles and unroadworthy vehicles. Unfortunately, Matatu industry is one of those plagued by this menace.
Yeah, but let me shock you that we are not the leading causing accident among the leading. In fact,
We are almost number 4, if I'm not wrong. Engineer, I can confirm, here I can confirm. The problem is when you media reporting, you only report matatus. You don't report these small cars, private cars, who are the cause now, and bodas.
But from all reports, I don't think that's a fair assessment. Because we also...
I will give you an example.
Yes.
Give me one news you have made for a small car.
We have.
There are few. But when a matatu have an accident, may collide, may be hit by a truck or hit by a small car, when you are reporting, you don't say that this matatu was hit by a small car or a roll. You just mention the word matatu, which is very sweet to the viewers and to everybody to hear that the matatu have caused an accident. And nowadays, if you go around, you see many changes have made, matatu industry have made. There before, there was nowhere you can get any matatu cause an accident. To date, if an engineer or if a carrier want to know the matatu which have caused accident belong to who, it's very easy to capture that because one, the circles and the companies have all the records. The owner, the applying of that route, whether that vehicle was in hire or their initial route. But we are not saying that we are 100%. And there are so many several issues that we need to look at more to look at the accident or the matatu industry. Have we ever had somewhere a school like Kenya Railway have school, Kenya Aviation for the pilots, Kenya Marine for the Nini? We don't have. The government itself should invest to have a school for the long distance trucks drivers and also for the PSV drivers, whereby they should not go there to be milked. They should be going there to get certificates and diplomas to encourage those drivers to be professional drivers. I remember there was a committee formed by the former cabinet secretary where I was among them. And we proposed to change this driving license to be called a professional driver. So we encourage those drivers to be a professionals, give them certificate, give them diplomas. So the head of that person will be the trainer. You go to schools where those people are being trained, to school I won't mention the driving schools. You find somebody employed by that school, was trained there, have never ever got road. And there's many examples. And if you want to get an experience as a driver, go to the road. There's challenges when you are driving.
Still on the same, Bonamwenda, I'm looking at unroadworthy vehicles, no seat belt, reckless driving, vehicle maintenance, vehicle inspection. That is exactly what I'm looking at.
Do you know we don't have an unroadworthy vehicle in our roads? What's the unroadworthy vehicle? I'm a mechanic professional. What's the meaning of the unroadworthy? What's the
All right, let me give you a practical example.
I will define for you to call a vehicle unroadworthy. What's that vehicle? Is it a seat belt? Is it a tire? Is it a mechanical problem? Is it a body work? We should define.
All right, let me give you a practical example, Bonamwenda. I'm looking at, I've worked in all the shifts, at night, in the morning. So looking at Thika Road, especially very early in the morning, I'm talking about 4 a.m. and 5 a.m., you'll find even vehicles that do not even have lights. I believe engineer can also...
Let me add something on this.
Yes, there are unroadworthy vehicles.
You know, as you were saying, one point I agree is that the matatus are now not the number one in rating in terms of fatalities. Number one is pedestrians. what we call pedestrians, when you look at the rate of fatalities. Pedestrians may be people or crossing roads as non-designated points. That it could be one on pedestrians. We also have, number two, we have now borders. Then we also have private vehicles, the so-called private, which your own vehicle, it has an accident, has claimed the lives of two people. But as he said, one thing I agree is that the focus has been when it is a matatu or it is a commercial vehicle, a lot of attention is given. But if you look at the leading causes now, we are at, it is the pedestrians, we have borders, we have private people, vehicles like that. A point at which I want to correct is that in the pillars of road safety, we have a pillar called safer vehicles. And that is what I do to ensure that the vehicles are safer. What does that mean? It means that the vehicles must be certified to be roadworthy. What does that mean? It is mechanically sound. It is mechanically okay. The tires are in order, brake system are in order, electrical are in order, suspension and all that are in order. So the terminology, what he's saying about roadworthiness, I don't want to debate with the terminology. But the point is, we do certification to ensure that the vehicles are roadworthy. That means the vehicles are fit and safe to transport people on the roads. Both, that is mechanical soundness and environmental in terms of emissions. I wanted to make that clarity.
Yes, and even before you go back to him, there are some patent issues he's mentioning here, very patent. It matters. What matters is how he's trying to bring it. When he talked about professionalism on our, that is one thing, that's one place we have already failed. When we talk like the drivers to be trained, we have a government school like what is happening in Rwanda. We don't have a government school here to train our drivers. Drivers are just trained in any driving school private, and then you just go tested by NTSA, who are very corrupt. That is a fact. And let me say one thing here. We try to sugarcoat these things, and people are dying on our roads. Let us go to the real patent. What is the real cause of our accidents? First of all, I'm very happy to have engineer as the deputy engineer here in NTSA. He has said it very clear that when you talk of this vehicle, checking of this vehicle, that is their mandate, to make sure that any vehicle on the road is properly inspected mechanically, or there are so many things to do with a vehicle to be on the road. One, I want to tell him, when NTSA has failed us on that. Because now, as the association, we've been complaining, I've been even in his office, and I gave him an example of a vehicle. My own lorry is at home, and I just give 6,000, and then I get a sticker. The vehicle is okay to be on the road. So there's a lot of corruption in NTSA. If everything is done the correct way, that all the vehicles are properly checked before they go on the road. Today, why are we saying here that matatus, the number, in fact, matatus used to read in these figures. But today, why is matatus not leading? Because everybody concentrated on matatus. Today, not a matatu which will not go for inspection. Because that matatu, from the time it gets on the road, it will be stopped by over 10 police officers who want to get something from that vehicle. So if it has not gone for inspection, everybody will know. So the owner of that vehicle, the first thing, he must make sure that his vehicle is properly inspected. That vehicle has safety belts, because the police, if they discover you don't have that safety belt in that matatu, that is a cash cow where they will start getting money. So this is where you see the trade now is coming down for the matatus. Today, we talk of road safety, we are talking of matatu people are compliant. But remember, we have so many road users. It's not about matatu. Today, I want to tell you, and this is for sure, our lorries, the lorries which are here are not going for inspection. I've complained to them, I've written to them that they are giving takeaway stickers at the inspection center. And if that happens, what happened? The accident will occur.
All right,
let's say about professional.
Let's give him a chance.
So that I give him a chance.
Yes.
Another point which is very important here. He's talked about a driver to be trained. Even before we talk about the driver being trained, we should also know these inspectors at the inspection center. How are they employed? Today we are discussing, there was something from Nyakundi. We have people who are civil engineers who are checking our vehicles. We have cooks, we have teachers who have been employed because of what you call the big people want to employ their people.
All right, because he is the deputy, let's give him the opportunity to respond to those allegations because he's the deputy director of motor vehicle inspection.
Thank you. I think let me put some things clear. You know, when we are talking of road safety, one, like you are putting, how is the trend, and he's elaborated it. And I said it before, that in the hierarchy, now we find pedestrians, not the PSVs. And partially he said because a lot of effort was put because of the magnitude of the effect of PSVs and commercial. But now let me put something clear about something which is saying that, the trucks, let me say lorries, do not go for inspection. That is not true. That is not true. Public service vehicles, PSVs, and commercial vehicles, which include lorries, vans, anything which is called commercial vehicle, it is mandatory. Actually, by law, by the Traffic Act, every vehicle on Kenyan road should undergo mandatory inspection. But for long, we have not encompassed all the vehicles, including private, and that is now where I will tell you later what measures we are putting in place to ensure that all vehicles undergo mandatory inspection. But as it is now, all commercial vehicles, all public service vehicles undergo inspection. So if, you know, there can be, always there may be one or two isolated cases. Like he says that his own vehicle he gave 6,000. That is an admission of wrong.
Corruption.
Which is an admission which the taker and the giver, we say you blame the hen and you also blame the mongoose. So in this case, but there can be isolated cases. That one is, that one will be there. But the true position is that all the public service vehicles and commercial vehicles undergo mandatory annual inspection. Number two, it alludes that today, even civil engineers are undertaking inspection. I would tell you, as the HOD and the deputy director in charge of motor vehicle inspection, all our inspectors, there is none who is a civil engineer. Of course, we have a directorate called Directorate of Motor Vehicle Inspection and Safety Audit, with a director and two deputy directors, one department, motor vehicle inspection, another department, road safety audit. It is in the road safety audit where we have civil engineers, because they're the ones who audit roads, starting from the design. When Kenya wants to build a road, the road must be subjected to audit from the design stage, during construction and post. But on the side of motor vehicle inspection, which I had, all of them either have diploma in mechanical engineering, because that is a requirement, at least diploma in mechanical engineering or automotive engineering. So let me to summarize the summary, and also to bring him to speed, that our inspectors are qualified inspectors. Actually, majority are now degree holders with the Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering or Automotive Engineering.
Okay, before you go there, he has said that maybe, you know, it's good I clarify. When I say these lorries don't go for inspection, and he has said they go for inspection, and why I took mine. I took it and I even went to his office. I wanted to prove a point that vehicles are going through inspection without even visiting the inspection centers. We have only 17 inspection centers which are gazetted in this country. And all vehicles are subjected to those inspections. And if I'm lying, I think there was a very good clip I did with BBC. We did it. A vehicle was taken. It was all over the media. The other one was KTN. It was all over the media. Proving my point that vehicles...
yes, we really don't need that for this piece, because in as much as he has talked about vehicle inspection, that is mandatory, and he has said there could be isolated cases, just like you're talking about. But the essence is vehicles must be.
Yes.
Go for inspection. Must go for vehicle inspection to ensure that. And that is why I want also want to go back to Mwenda, because actually we have been bashing him, on how effective current regulations and enforcement measures have been, because the Deputy Director here has talked about now you're number 4 in terms of the road accidents after pedestrians, borders, personal vehicles, matatu. There's also some improvement. Let's give credit to his team. What exactly has been happening?
Yeah, you see, as Kerry has mentioned, and engineer, you see the problem, we focus so much with inspection. It's 1 year, one day for 1 year. We don't train, or we don't have centers like, I was in Spain. I was also in UK. You find when you along that distant tracks, they have somewhere to rest. In that place, you will find there's a gym, a nurse or a clinical officer to test her eyes, her body, and also the government have invested much. If you go also to these big buses, they don't have those small vehicles. It's big buses. They are the same. The routine is the same. Ours is once you get up from the inspection, it's your own. The roads itself is not good. It's not well maintained by the Kenya. You get pothole in the highway, whereby us as Kenyans, we should start prosecuting the Kenya or the government, because some of the accidents caused by tire burst, which is also the person who import that tire, he bring a substandard tire. If you go to the owner of that vehicle, he just want to buy a new tire. He just look the physics of the tire, just a tire. You need, even they don't ask the manufacturer of the year of the manufacturer of that tire. You just want a new tire. And you find that 3 years, the tire expire 5 years. But you find a new tire with 3 years in stock. The other thing is substandard things. You find a ball joint cannot go even 1 year. 3 months out.
And the vehicle has to be inspected
and the vehicle should go to inspection after 1 year. And this for 3 years, 3 months. So what we need also the government, even the NTSA, we need also to start training mechanics. We have qualified mechanics, but we also, the government need to invest much. Because the vehicles are taken garage to Grogan. Have you ever gone to Grogan? You find the Grogan, they are repairing the vehicle out as cut of the road. And that's where you want that vehicle to be gone to inspection, to the government inspection, to look at the person who her rights is on the road, the body is inside the vehicle. The problem we have, we don't have the clinics. We should have as more clinics, whereby we encourage the circles and the companies and the small vehicles to go to the clinics for checkups. And also we start prosecuting people who are not doing their job, like Kenya. When you have a pothole in the road, we should take that picture and prosecute that person who is between, you find some engineer from, maybe from Nairobi to Naivasha, there's somebody who should be repairing that road. Because a small pothole can cause an accident. But we don't focus with that pothole. We focus with the driver. That driver maybe was trying to evade that pothole, and the other side also has another pothole, or the road is narrow. You find that that accident was caused by the pothole, not the driver. So we also need to go all the signs for the road safety. The road safety should not belong to the drivers. It should all of us, whether it's engineers, whether it's the people who are maintaining our roads in the highway roads, because you would not get a fatal accident here in the south. You never have that.
Yeah.
And those roads are not tarmac. In fact, when a road is tarmac, that's where you get a fatal. But the road before the tarmac, you will not even get an accident. An engineer or a carrier can confirm that.
Okay, let's go back to engineer, because Kiarie and Mwenda have raised some pertinent questions, and more or less NTSA, you work with other agencies including KENHA.
Yes.
Last year you launched the Road Safety Action Plan 2024 to 2028. What exactly does it entail, and have you been able to rope in some of these challenges my good gentlemen here are talking about?
Yes, the Road Safety Action Plan, which was 2024-2029, and it is like the strategic plan for road safety in the country for the quinquennial period, the 5-year period. And what you are saying, what does it entail? It entails all the facets, what needs to be done as a country to achieve safety on our roads. It looks at all the pillars on road safety. They have talked one thing which I agree with them. They have talked about training, the training, which is very key. That is a point, which it is also encompassed there, because as Kiarie, my friend Omata was saying, there are many road users. We have pedestrians, we have ox-driven, we have mukokoteni, we have border riders or pedals, we have pedal cyclists, we have all those are road users. So the Road Safety Action Plan touches on all the users. For instance, if you talk of a pillar, talk of safer roads. In safer road subsection, safer roads, we have now properly designed roads. Because when you talk of safe roads, you can be a very professional driver, trained, but if the road is not properly designed, maybe you have deep trenches, which we call them unforgiving roads. So we encompass that, safer roads. So under safer roads, under the pillar of safer roads, we have incorporated the support and mapped all the stakeholders. For instance, we have the road contractor, that is KENHA, KURA, KERA, KWS, county government, because the roads also, all those are there. We have the contractors, all those stakeholders are mapped. When you come to the issue of like the trainers, now school driving schools, that's what they are saying, that yes, there are people currently carrying out training of drivers. The point I've captured from them is that we need to do more. We need to do more. Like he's saying, long-distance truck drivers, they need to have infrastructure, what we call I've captured it here, the infrastructure, roadside rest stations. I know that one is already going on because it has been mapped. The roads have been mapped to capture, especially the northern corridor, to ensure that we have properly designed and maintained, constructed points where the long-distance drivers can rest, so that they don't just stop in centers. Should there be even fire outbreak, you can imagine of the consequence. So that one is there. In a nutshell, what I'm saying that the Road Safety Action Plan encompasses all the facets of road safety, incorporating all the stakeholders, agencies which are needed to support and achieve these objectives. He is talked of, he is a member of the Road Safety Association. Yes. I know that is a stakeholder, because if I'm talking of safer vehicles, what do I mean by safer vehicles? I need vehicles which can transport people from one point to another safely. That's why we talk of, I know it's a Road Safety Association, they deal with speed limiters. The speed limiter vendors, we work with them. We come to bodybuilders, bus bodybuilders, people who are building buses. Those are our stakeholders. We deal with them. He's talked of garages. That is a point that which I've also picked, and we have captured it also even in the Road Safety Action Plan. You talk of inspection and maintenance. He made a very profound point by saying, you know, we take our vehicles to be maintained in garages, but do we know the qualification of these people, these mechanics? He brought a point that the government must take a deliberate action also to ensure that these mechanics are also looked into. Is there something which can be done to improve their standards and ability? That is a point captured in the Road Safety Action Plan, because we know that for you to have a safer vehicle, it goes back even to the person who is going to maintain it. How qualified is the person? Is there something which can be done to improve, also to build them at their apprentice? What can be done to improve them? We have captured that. Right now, even those garages, for instance, we have different categories of bus bodybuilders. We have class 1, whom they're only able maybe to fit the anti-roll bar. In these vans, matatus, they come as vans, but now they are converted as matatus. What the standard, we have standards which we apply. We ensure that, okay, it was a van, but now it is being converted into a matatu. It must meet some safety threshold. It must be fitted with anti-roll bars. The seats must be mounted in a particular way, so that even if this vehicle is involved in an accident, the degree is mitigated. If the vehicle rolls, it has an anti-roll bar, so the body does not collapse inside. The people can still be safer. Even the seats, the way they are mounted, it will not shear off in case of a collision. They must be mounted properly in accordance to standard. So those are things which we are doing, and those are all captured in the Road Safety Action Plan. So Road Safety Action Plan stipulates all the pillars of road safety and encompass the work and the support of all the stakeholders in the road subsector to help achieve safety on our roads.
All right, to you, Kiari, still on the same. I'm looking at road safety. We're talking about action plan and also all the stakeholders who have been roped in. Remember, there's also, we always say that road safety begins with you and me. And the more we empower us as Abiria, we always be pulling in the same direction. I remember last year seeing in matatus some stickers, Zusha. You know, if the driver is drunk, is behaving, is not driving well, if the driver more or less looks intoxicated, you can be able to, you know, to raise your voice.
Thank you.
How have these campaigns,
let me tell you,
to empower?
Let me tell you, me sometimes I don't believe in a lot of talking, theory, things which are not happening. We are losing Kenyans on our roads. But when we come here, we give so many stories. There is the action plan. That action plan, when did we launch the action plan? Has it started working? No, that is a fact. You know, the problem is when we come here, we start trying to sugarcoat everything. Which
Maybe
is
he
done.
can tell us whether it's working.
Yeah. And you please let me finish.
Because
you give them a lot
you've
of time,
already accused him that maybe it's not working.
You will go back to that. Give me time, please.
Okay.
I finish. Because what I'm telling you is exactly what is happening on our roads. Here we will talk. We have done this. We are trying to do this accident, but they're happening. We are seeing these vehicles rolling and killing people. We have seen an accident whereby somebody seated with a safety belt, are going injured, and he is dead. The safety belt itself is the ones which are killing people because they are not of standard. Who are supposed to check these safety belts to make sure that they are of the standard? We have every policy in this country. We have any law in this country. We have policies. In fact, we don't need any. Other countries, Ethiopia, other countries are coming to get our policies to go, and they are working in their country. That's one thing I want to tell you. But in our own country, nothing is working.
We have an issue in implementing the policies.
The implementation of these policies is where the problem is. We should be asking ourselves, because now this will be like a blame game. Today I will come, I will blame NTSA. Tomorrow I will blame the police. You remember what has been happening. NTSA were removed on the road. Everybody was blaming NTSA. Then again came the police. Again we came here. We removed again the police from the road. This will be a game going on. We are in the middle. We know what we are talking about. I have taken Kenya to court, and I took them. They repaired where I wanted them to repair. These people only listen to court. We are helped by our judiciary. But now the problem is that even our judiciary is corrupt. If there is something which is, and you let me finish.
Yes.
If there is something which is
they are not here to
I'm telling you because we are there. Yes. I have been in court. I have taken even them. An officer inspected a vehicle, and I have known the vehicle has been inspected. But even if I ask the police officer will tell you this vehicle is not supposed to be on the road. So we must be responsible, all of us. That is from the pedestrian, from that boda driver, from yourself driving that personal vehicle. You must make sure that your vehicle is safe to be on the road. Everybody, this is a responsibility for everybody.
And do you believe
remembering that we are paying these gentlemen there our money, they must make sure they work. They must make sure that everything is done.
There are road safety campaigns that are still there, and he can bear me witness. Are they working?
Let me tell you one thing. Please. Please, we are on the road. That is our job. Us, we don't do anything else. Today, I can even show you the receipt. That is a collection of money. NTSA and police officers are collecting money on the road. Nothing else. I have more than 24 clients, vehicles. Let me finish. Whereby
the good thing, he's here.
Yes. And even if you ask this question to the motorist, because a vehicle is stopped, and then a vehicle is not transmitting. A speed governor should transmit to NTSA.
Yes.
That vehicle is not transmitting. These guys will plaque the number plate just because the vehicle is not transmitting. The owner of the vehicle has no responsibility of transmission. That is a question which should be taken direct to the vendor who fitted that speed governor. Because the owner of the vehicle just went to their website. These are the companies. He came to you, you fixed that gadget. So if it is not transmitting, for God's sake, you remove that number plate. For you to get that number plate, you must go with the original receipt, you give it, and then you forfeit the 10,000. This is a game of making money.
Okay, let him respond to that because he squarely fits in the NTSA.
Unfortunately, my friend Omata here will make will paint a picture of hell. Himself, he was saying, himself is saying the Road Safety Action Plan was launched by the President last year in April 17th. It is now like 3 months to a year. And my friend Omata here is a vendor, a speed limiter vendor, and is a beneficiary of some of the actions which have been taken by the authority. Why do I say that? Right now, any vehicle which is supposed to be fitted with a speed limiter cannot pass through inspection if it is not verified by the original speed limiter vendor that it is fitted by that.
But they are not going. And
he knows that it cannot pass. And that also, in a way, protect the businesses. And is a beneficiary of that. So a lot of things have been done and are being done. He knows that we have a very robust, intelligent road safety management systems through which even the transmission of data from the speed limiters pass through, which has been was captured in the Road Safety Action Plan. Right now, there are a lot of operations on the road. They say that there is nothing, it is just a collection. When you fail to admit the truth, that by doing that, intensification of operation on the roads, it really deter a lot, because he knows that the major cause of fatalities on our roads is speed. And that is why we have speed limiters. That is why we have the operation, we have the police on the road to deter people from overspeeding. He knows that that is captured on the Road Safety Action Plan. He knows, and is a beneficiary and a participant, that during the service delivery week, which was last year, we carried with them clinics, road safety clinics across the country. And this one brought together the Matatu Owners Association, all these kind of vendors, to ensure that we carry out free clinic, which he had suggested, that we need to have such. Where your vehicle, I participated personally here at railway station. We check your vehicle, do for you the inspection, we tell you this and that is wrong. Without any penalty, we tell you, make sure you ensure this one and that is done. Just like we do medical clinics or medical camps where you are checked, you are told your blood pressure is higher, make sure you do this free of charge without being charged. So a lot is happening, which he himself also, as a member of Road Safety Association and a vendor, are part and parcel and have been even beneficiaries because of the measures which the authority has put in place, the government has put in place.
All right, let's go to Mwenda. Yes, Mwenda, you can add on that and tell us how these road campaigns, because you mostly deal with public service vehicles, that is Matatu Transport Vehicle Association.
Yes.
How are they bearing fruits, if they are? Because we have seen numerous. We have seen police and NTSA are having campaigns every now and then. We've run some of them on our television station and radio stations. How are they faring in terms of ensuring that we have safe roads?
You see, the problem, is those campaignings. When they focus on one side, I will ask the engineer, what are you going to do with Mkokoteni in the capital city? What are you going to do with tuk-tuk? If you go to these big cities, they have a separate road where the Mkokoteni and tuk-tuk should use. If you go right now to the Jogo Road, you will find Mkokoteni, boda-boda, tuk-tuk, matatus, small cars, lorries, truck, all are mixed in one place. And when a matatu being hit by a mkokoteni, it's matatu hit mkokoteni. When a pedestrian, and there is a big issue here about the people being compensated, about the insurance. The compensation, this kind of compensation for the people when they are crossing road, you find this as a where they are crossing, in front of him, there is somewhere he can use to cross. But they don't want. There are a lot of business in this city. And if you go to do the statistics yourself, you find in many cities, there you find those kind of small accident, reported accident. I was hit by a vehicle, I was hit by this. But when he was hit, a side mirror for a small car, it's not an accident. But a side mirror for the matatu is an accident. Because this person was crossing, he just wants to be hit by a matatu to be compensated. Those are the other issues. We need also, when we want to do this campaigning, we also educate our people. And also, we don't need any other law. We have so many, and these laws, some of these laws, and in fact, I was shocked because the president is the one who was in KICC, and electrical buses there and whatever. You bear with me that what they were telling the president there, it cannot work. It cannot work in this country. But because exactly? In the screen, it will work in the screen, but in the road, it can't work.
Yes, exactly.
I'll show you why. Show me. You are telling the president that this vehicle have a camera, have all these things. When it want to turn or to go to the stage, why we don't have those stages in the first place? If you go to Gagudo Road, it's a new road. He was saying that they cooperate with the Kenya. We are with the Kenya. Ask them. Outer Ring Road, they design Outer Ring without a stage, one stage for the matatu. They go ahead, they tarmac Kagudo Road, even a single stage, the none. The problem is not the users, it's the people who wrote those roads in the upper hill and whatever those offices.
You said there are challenges
the engineers and the rest,
infrastructure that we have.
Engineers and the other Kenya engineers and the people, they just come with a board in a boardroom. What they thought is good for to be implemented without even looking at them. Where are we in Kenya or we are in Europe?
Maybe you can respond to,
the
infrastructural challenges that we have. And still on the same, he can also touch on the challenges that NTSA is facing in terms of motor vehicle inspection, because KRE has raised concern. You've also mentioned something.
Before he go to inspection, inspection is excellent. If you go to Likoni, that one is excellent. But ask him about the Johor Road, Mukokoteni, tuk-tuk.
All right, let him respond.
So that he can answer. I wanted to talk about the action plan. It's a good one when you look at the papers. But who came up with that action plan? That is what I want. I am one person who is a stakeholder. They never involved us because they don't involve the critics. They want to bring the people, you just tell them, this is what you want to do.
Is Matatu Association one of the stakeholders?
Wait, can I finish? Because I was not involved. Yes. Because I would have tried to advise them. One, ask him, why are they on the road? Why are you there doing clinics?
All right.
At this time of age, whereby technology is everywhere, these speed governors send all the information to their offices.
Okay.
Why can't they work in the office?
Yeah, because in the interest of time,
they are on the road to collect money.
All right. Let him respond to that. Is he one of the stakeholders? Because he said you will never involve them.
He is. Because he's a member. I think he's even the leading official on the road safety action. Yes, he's the chair. I think I have not had a change, that there was a change. But he's the chair of the road safety action plan. He's one of the stakeholders. All right. Even in the speed limiter. So, and those are some of the key stakeholders, and he knows, and a beneficiary of the actions which are already taken. But you see again, you've heard of a story of some people who touched an elephant. Somebody touched the ear, he said, he was asked, how is it? He said it is a trap. Somebody touched the head, he said a different thing. You see, the perspective he looks at it, that now the joint operation, which is collaboration, the multi-agency approach. One thing we have to appreciate, that it is cost-effective for the government, and the government encourages the multi-agency approach of handling problems, so that when the police wants to, it is the NTSA which carry out inspection. It is NTSA which does registration. It is NTSA which licenses the drivers. So if we approach it as a multi-agency together with the National Police, which is a child with the enforcement, you see how effective and productive it will be. But you see him is looking at it that is a collection, it is a collection agenda. But worse, from the government perspective, we are concerned about people's lives. We don't look at it as a collection, because to him they look at it as a collection of tax, not even tax, corruption. But that is not true. We are more concerned about people's lives on roads. And I can tell you for sure, without editing or classifying or seasoning my words with salt, though the Bible allows that you can season your words with salt, even without that, I can tell you it is very much effective. Through that multi-agency approach, through and with NTSA, the National Police, it is really bearing a lot of fruits. You know, the you are supposed, it is the prerogative of the owner of the vehicle to present his or her vehicle to the inspection. The law does not demand, it is not NTSA which obligates them. It is the law demanding it from the owner to bring the vehicle. So the owner can decide not to bring it. But when we are on the road, we find people who are operating, they don't have a license, they don't have inspection. Through that, now they are obligated through an action. Like he says, when the vehicle is not conforming, is not compliant, we will remove the number plate, and when we have removed the number plate, it will now necessitate you to carry out what we call compliance inspection. You have to go and comply with the fare to rectify what was found to be wrong. If you had worn-out tires, you have to go and fit new tires. If you had lamps which had broken and were not even functional, you must undertake remedial measures to ensure that the vehicle now comply. You bring it back for inspection for what you call compliance inspection. When it complies, now we will issue you back with your number plate. And I can tell you it is bearing fruit. If it were not done, the consequences would be great.
But engineer, Mr. Joy, please. Yes. Please.
A minute.
NTSA, the formation of NTSA was to make sure they reduce these accidents. And I think that is why we are here. We are not here because of anything else.
Yes.
It is about the accidents. And what is the objective? Is to reduce the numbers. When Opere says it is bearing fruits, and we are talking of numbers of accidents increasing, here we are talking of numbers because numbers don't lie. Kenyans are dying more than any other time. If Michuki as an individual brought these accidents down, and here we have an authority, a full authority, which has all the powers, and it is completely wameshindwa. Let us be very sincere. And if we don't discuss that language,
I'm very honest.
Let me be honest.
If they are not doing what they are doing, we'll be having.
If we don't put things straight and talk of the way things are currently, and the way things are, anybody today, our roads are not safe. Anybody is a victim. Anybody, even you, when you're sitting, as long as you're using these roads. So when we are discussing about this, we must be serious. Not about papers. You have very good English.
But with all fairness, Bonakari,
we want practical
yes,
done.
Bonakari, but with all fairness, some of these efforts have been able to reduce accidents in our roads. It could be a little bit worse, and especially in the Matatu.
When you say they have reduced, in fact, I don't know what you are comparing with. Because the CS himself, just the other day, they released the results. They were talking of 4,200 people have died. Have they reduced or have they increased?
They have increased.
You are worrying me.
I'm saying, no. I'm saying
they have done something.
My point is, looking at the action plan as the engineer has told us, and looking at the efforts that the government is doing as we speak, these accidents could be a little bit higher than they are.
Let me tell you, if we continue behaving even you the way you are saying, then let me tell you, we will continue losing Kenyans. The thing is very clear.
Gentlemen, the two of you are on the road.
Very clear. Yes. Can NTSA reduce these accidents? We don't want stories.
Okay, fine. I'll give each and every one of you a minute each to tell us what is your view on how we are going to end or reduce road accidents as we are. Let's begin with Bonamwenda.
Before Joy, there is a question I want engineer. I'm asking here. Joy, tell me, engineer. Tuk-tuk are not going to, they are not taken to inspection. They carry passengers.
Oh, that's a question. I will answer. Just ask all the questions. I will respond.
Yes.
When
Mkokoteni is also carrying goods like a pickup. What are you going to do with those two things?
Okay.
Tuk-tuk and boda-boda.
I will respond during my time.
No. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, you've asked a question.
Yeah.
Now, as the Matatu Transport Vehicle Association, how are we going to reduce these numbers?
Good.
One, to involve everybody.
Good. Nothing else.
And let us not focus with one side. And whenever we have campaigning, don't look for only vehicles. Let this thing educate, even take this curriculum to schools like China, so that every child, when it's growing, know about road safety. Because we are focusing more with the road safety, with inspections and trucks and matatus. We left those children which are crossing roads. We left also those children who are playing near the roads. We left also the people who are working near the roads, who are doing the business near the road, like the one in Nakuru. We want everybody to be involved, be educated. Let this campaign focus with everybody. And this one will bear fruits.
And of course, I can add something to that and also take out the graft on our roads. Kerry, you've spoken very passionately for this 1 hour, and being the chairman of Road Safety Association, I totally understand. Just like Mwenda has talked about, roping in everyone. In your view, in your perspective, how are you going to be reducing these accidents from the high of 4,000?
It is extremely very simple. Very simple. We can reduce them. NTSA is the leader. Let NTSA involve all the stakeholders. Don't look at the critics. I was one of the critics to Michuki. I was in media talking about Michuki, but Michuki could not do anything. He was involving us. So that we can have a proper discussion.
Yes.
And when we have involved everybody, so that we can ask ourselves questions. What is beating us? And then we can even go and know exactly who are these people employed? What are they doing? What is the qualifications of our drivers? What are the qualifications of the inspectors in those inspection centers? Because that is a key thing, and we want to follow that, and we are going to follow that. Because we are having information, even we have qualified inspectors who cannot even drive a vehicle. And they are there. And somebody has done automotive engineering. It is not possible. So what we are saying is this. Please, NTSA, let us involve the police. Be ready to work with the police. We have seen in the other time whereby NTSA and the police are fighting. And here we are talking of Kenyans' lives. These are government bodies. We want them to involve police. NTSA, we want KBC because of the standards to be involved. We want things like CMTE to be involved. We want KENHA. We want KURA. We even want these people who do these safety campaigns like Red Cross, because we need to train our people, like Buddha people, victims, because some of them, it's not necessarily that people die on that accident, but it's sometimes the way they are handled. So, conversation, whereby a clean conversation, the way we used to sit in the transport, matatu people, everybody, parts, now they not a mass they take all the views, but we might help them. This work cannot be done by one authority, NTSA. We don't want to hear them. Like now what they are talking of action plan, we are given a book and you are written there, you participated, but you did not participate. There are things you see which are not supposed to be there in that action plan.
Okay, but engineer,
yes,
we always say road safety begins with you and me, yes. But the biggest buck by taxis and even Kenyans are looking at NTSA. How are we going to be reducing these accidents, just as we have seen they have been on the rise, and especially during festive season? Thank
you so much. I think I will move very fast because of time.
Yes.
First of all, tuk-tuks, to answer my friend, tuk-tuks undergo inspection. If there are those which have not undergone, it is the same kind of problem which we are dealing with, people failing to do their honest part, because it is the responsibility of the owner to ensure that he presents the vehicle, he or she presents the vehicle for inspection. Tuk-tuk is a PSV because they carry passengers. Mukokoteni is not a vehicle, but they are road users, which we must work collaboratively even with the counties, because we don't license mukokotenis. Neither do we license bicycles, but all of them are road users. So that is why stakeholders like county governments, we have to work together. We have what we call even CTCs, county traffic committees, which helps even in such, because it is also the counties which even designate stages for taxis. So we work together to ensure that safety is also maintained at the country level. It is like devolve. So that one we are doing. They have said that we need to involve everyone. Truly, we are trying the best on this. And they can agree that we have involved Matatu Owners, Road Safety Association, we are doing this. Perhaps Omata knows, he's saying that we didn't involve critics. He's already even given a solution that is actually... But I can tell you, even him and even others, we are involving them. And if you look at the Road Safety Action Plan, even the stakeholders are mapped. In every subsection, we have mapped them. Like he said, under the post-crash, like he was saying, post-crash, because sometimes safety is on how people are handled after the accident. We are working with agencies like Red Cross, other agencies, UN, for support and funding to ensure that we have ambulances equipped, plying our roads, so that should an accident happen, there is quick response. Fire department, all that we are working with. And another thing, even he suggested that the road safety should be devolved, it should be disseminated downwards. Right now, NTSA has worked with even the KICD, Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, to incorporate safety, road safety, even in our curriculum, starting from primary. We are working with the police, which they have agreed. We are also working with other government agencies, like he has rightfully put. I remember on 29th of July last year, we were with them at Eka Hotel, discussing standards on telematics, video telematics and speed limiters, so that we can manage, especially in school vehicles, to have video telematics on school vehicles and commercial vehicles. We work with KEBS because KEBS develop standards. We work with Kenya Accreditation Services because they accredit conformity assessors. We work with even OSHA, Occupational and Safety. We are working with other agencies, and that is why I said the government is encouraging multi-agency approach so that we can maximize, not working as in a silo myself, while I needed the support of Road Cross, while I needed the service of KBC, because education, at the end of it all, it translates to behavior change. And that is where we now need media. And you are doing a commendable job because you are educating the public so that we can change our mindset to ensure that road safety is a shared responsibility, and it begins with you and me.
Indeed, and we're talking about campaigns. I would also urge you to consider using KBC even more, because we have even more than 20 radio stations that can be able to disseminate that kind of information right there. But thank you indeed so much, Bwana Benson Mwenda and Bwana David Kiari, who is the chairman of Road Safety Association. Benson Mwenda is the chairman of Matatu Transport Vehicle Association, and also we had Engineer Joel Akomo Pere, who is the Deputy Director Motor Vehicle Inspection in the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA. That's where we put a cap on the first hour. We're looking at road safety, but at the end of the day, we always say road safety begins with you and me, and public awareness really is wanting. We need to do more because the accidents, unfortunately, are on the rise. That's the first hour. Thank you so much for joining us, but just give me a minute for a quick break, but we'll be right back where we're looking at devolution. There's even so many functions that have been devolved, but some still remain with the national government. One of them is some aspects of health, some aspects of agriculture. We'll be looking at including own source revenue for the counties. We're back in a moment.